All right, friends, today we're going to continue to read Junie B, first grader Dumb Bunny, Chapter 5, The Jelly Bean Game. Lucille's daddy clapped his loud hands together.
Boys and girls, please find a seat at one of the picnic tables. Lunch will be served shortly, he called.
I waited to see where Sheldon was going to sit. May waited too, 'cause both of us had to keep track of that guy, of course. 'Cause only too bad for me, because as soon as Sheldon picked a table, Lucille sat down right next to him. And boom, May slid in on the other side, and I got shut out. Wait, hold it. No fair, I said. Then I quick squeezed myself between May and Sheldon, but May would not budge herself. I did a grrr face at her. She hissed like a snake back at me. I stood there very puzzled. I do not actually have a comeback for a hiss. Finally, I went to the other side of the table and sat down across from them. That dumb May, I grumbled to just myself. She keeps getting one step ahead of me today. Plus, Sheldon is one step ahead of me too. I looked across the table. Lucille was whispering to Sheldon very secret. May leaned her head over and she listened through Sheldon's other ear. Whispers can come right through Sheldon's head, apparently. I put my chin on my hands. I don't stand a chance with this stupid egg hunt, I said to Herb. He gave me a pat. Sometimes a little pat is all a friend can do. Only guess what? Just then something very nice happened, and it's called Lucille's Nana walked over where I was sitting, and she sat in the chair at the end of my table. I jumped up real thrilled. Nana! Nana! Look! It's me! It's Junie B! And you are sitting right exactly next to me! I shouted. The Nana glanced her eyes at Lucille's mom and dad.
Yes, I know, dear. I lost the coin toss, she said, kind of annoyed.
I sat back down and tickled her arm. This reminds me of when we had dinner together last year, and I was very fun, except I accidentally broke your crystal glass. Remember that, Nana, huh? Do you remember? The Nana nodded.
Oh, yes, I remember, she said.
I thought back. Plus, I accidentally busted your feather pillow, and if I'm not mistaken, I spilt the beanie weenies on the expensive linen tablecloth, I said. The Nana looked at me. You're not mistaken, dear, she said back. I smiled and patted her head. Good times, I said. May heard me talking. Well, Lucille and I am going to have good times too, right, Lucille? When I come to swim in your pool, that will be really good times, she said. Sheldon looked at her and grinned. Don't count your chickens before they're hatched, May, he said. The Nana did a little chuckle. I think you mean hatched, dear. It's don't count your chickens before they're hatched, not hashed, she said. Sheldon raised his eyebrows. Really? Are you sure? 'Cause at our house, my Aunt Bunny brings chicken hash for dinner every Sunday, he said. Chicken hash is her specialty. He smiled real proud. And Aunt Bunny was a chef in prison, he said. The Nana's face went kind of funny. She lowered her head on the table and rested her cheek on her napkin. I leaned my face down to her. Speaking of bunnies, Lucille said the Easter Bunny would be here today. Only I haven't actually seen him yet. And so where is he anyway, Nana? I asked. Lucille did a huff at me. Nosy Junie B, why did you have have to ask that question, she said. My Nana doesn't want to talk about that, do you, Nana? You made a teensy little mistake about the bunny, and you don't want anyone to know about how you almost ruined my party. The Nana did a groan. Lucille kept on talking. My Nana was in charge of hiring the real Easter Bunny. Only instead of hiring the real Easter Bunny, she hired a cheap, fake Easter Bunny. Right, Nana? The Nana did not reply. Lucille went on. The fake bunny came to our house to get his pay yesterday. Only his ears were really matted, and the top of his ear was chewed. But he told my Nana that he would freshen up nicely. And so Nana gave him cash money in advance. And then he hopped right out the front door. And he never came back. The Nana raised her head. Thank you, Lucille, she said. Thank you for sharing that with everyone. You're welcome, Nana, said Lucille, very pleasant. You're welcome. The Nana rolled her eyes. Lucille does not understand sarcastic, I believe. Just then, Lucille's daddy stood up at his picnic table and said it was time to get this show on the road. He held up a silver bell and rang it in the air. Ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling, ting-a-ling-a-ling-a-ling. Then, boom! Waiters started bringing food from all over the place, and it was the delicious food that I ever did saw. There was barbecue hamburgers and tasty hot dogs and crispy chicken fingers and crunchy salad and yummy potato chips and Swedish pickles. Plus, there were even delicious devilish eggs. Woohoo! What a spread! I said. I stuffed the devilish egg in my mouth. Also, I stuffed in a pickle and some chips and a giant chicken finger. I didn't stop stuffing for a really long time. Then finally I leaned back and I rubbed my big fat tummy. Whew! I'm about to bust a gusset, I said. Are you, Nana? Huh? Are you about to bust a gusset too? I was surprised to hear that. Nana frowned with her eyebrows. Ladies don't bust gussets, Junie B, she said. I was surprised to hear that information. Really? I said. What do ladies bust? Roger raised his hand. At my house, we bust our guts, he said. Herb smiled. At our house, we bust our buttons, he said. Sheldon stood up and said, at our house, we just unzip our pants, he said. After that, everyone at the table laughed and laughed, except not Nana. Finally, we all got finished eating, and the waiters took our plates away. Then, wowie, wow, wow! Lucille's daddy brought out the most beautifulest box I ever did saw. It was wrapped with shiny yellow paper and twirly-whirly ribbons. He held it up high in the air so all of us could see. Woohoo! Whose birthday is it? I shouted, very excited. Lucille jumped up and giggled. That's not a birthday present, Junie B. It's a game prize, she said. Before we hunt eggs, we're going to play a very fun game. And whoever wins that prize will get the thrill of a life. Right, Daddy? The daddy smiled. Well, we certainly hope the winner will be thrilled, he said. It's a pretty good prize, I think. Just then, he put down the box and he pulled a big jar of jelly beans out of a paper bag. This game is called the jelly bean game, he said. Can everyone see all the jelly beans in the jar? We've got lots of colors, don't we? We've got reds and yellows and blues and blacks and greens and oranges and whites. He stopped and held up his finger. But, he said,
In the whole big jar of jelly beans, there's only one purple one.
All of us made a hush sound. Ooh, just one purple, we all said together. The daddy smiled. Then he put the jar back in the bag so we couldn't see any of the colors anymore.
Okay, now I'm going to walk around each picnic table, and each of you can have a chance to reach in the jar and pull out a jelly bean, he said. But remember, you can only pull out one, okay?
Okay, we hollered. Okay. Lucille hurried over and held up the beautiful box. And remember this too. The first person to pull out the jelly bean will get this prize, she said. The thrill of a lifetime. All of us clapped and clapped. Then we bounced and giggled and wiggled and clapped. And we waited for the jelly bean jar to come to us. It was the nervousest wait of my life, I think. Because what if somebody got the purple jelly bean before I even got my turn? That would ruin the whole entire chance. I put my hands in front of my eyes. Then I peeked through my fingers and I watched the children pick. Roger's table went first. He picked a red bean. Then Camille picked an orange bean, and Chanel picked a green bean, and Shirley picked a blue bean, and my table came next. My heart kept beating faster and faster. Jose picked a yellow bean. Then Lenny picked a white bean, and May picked another white bean, and Sheldon picked a black bean. And then at last, it was time for me. My heart was pounding like crazy. I bent over and did some deep breathing. The daddy held out the bag to me, and I breathed some more. Okay, Junie B, he said. Any time now. I stood up and did a gulp. Then, very slowly, I reached my hand inside the bag, and I felt around for the purple. I wrinkled my eyebrows, very curious. What does purple feel like? I wondered. I said to myself. The daddy said, please hurry up. I swished my finger through the jar some more. Then, all of a sudden, I felt it. I tell you, I felt it. I felt purple. I felt roundish and beanish and purplish. I grabbed it real tight. Then I quick pulled my hand out of the jar and I opened up my fingers and guess what? Guess what? All right, friends, that's all for today. We'll read chapter 6 tomorrow. I hope you have a great day.